Tearing is a rebellious act that so many children dream of but do not dare to do it. Yet now, that has become a reality right before their eyes. However, this action has caught the eye of the teacher, who asked the teacher to come to the next class. He angrily entered the classroom. "What are you guys doing?" A student hurriedly stuffed the paper in his mouth, and a dramatic scene happened. "Why can't I hear the tearing sound?" Teacher is stimulating. "Sorry, I don't know you here." "I'm here." "That's right. Continue, will the boys?" Just when the teacher left the class, the teacher immediately turned. Sensitive on the teacher's table, he said, "I always told myself that I have to see everything from many different angles. Even when standing on this lectern, the world will also become different." He urged students to change their view to observe the world, seeking their own voice. Under the guidance of the teacher, the students stood up on the table, looking around. The boys, "You have to try to find your own voice, because the longer the delay, the chance of finding it is more fragile." The speech of the master awakening the dream and the desire hidden deep in the heart of every student. The teacher taught students not to bear fate. Be picky, rise up. Then the teacher bent down, leaving everyone closer. Despite studying medicine, business, technology, law are all noble industries, necessary for life. But letters are good things, romantic and full of love. That is the meaning of life. The unique teaching method of the teacher, like a new breeze, makes students extremely curious and admired. However, during the meal, Mr. Shaw deliberately sat next to the teacher. He expressed a doubt about the educational method of the master and said that 17-year-old boys should absorb knowledge from books, not to follow secret words and then delusion about themselves. He said that the teaching went against the school's religion. This is the academy of world reputation, which is only for the most elite. Once you have entered this school, that means putting one foot in the door of the Ivy League universities. However, the new student moved to school today is a special case. The boy always looks closed, quiet, and rarely laughs, never showing his thoughts. Although the boy was also very hard-working, people only remembered that he was the younger brother of an excellent scholar. "Must try harder to catch up with my brother. My brother used to be one of the best students in the school." "Thank you, teacher." After the solemn and formal opening ceremony, the students returned to the dormitory with a smile on their lips. Meanwhile, Todd Anderson still keeps an expressionless expression, without saying a word. This made the classmates sneak up, heard that his new roommate was like a fool. Fortunately, Todd's roommate, Neil Perry, is a vivacious and happy guy. Neil has actively introduced Todd to everyone. With the help of Neil, Todd quickly integrated with classmates. The strict management of the academy has made everyone feel stuffy. However, this literature teacher is different. The teacher was both energetic and walked around the classroom. After that, he immediately led students to the trophy room, where the school considered it to be the pride of the school. First, he introduced himself. "In the classroom, they can call me Mr. Keating. If you want to be more daring, it can be called, 'Oh, Captain, my Captain.' My crew members." This phrase is taken from Walt Whitman's poem. He wants himself to lead students, not to tie them. As it turned out, Mr. Keating also graduated from this school. He also told the students about his memories of his school, making the whole class laugh. Mr. Keating does not ask students to understand what poetry is, but directs their eyes towards the honor wall. The people in the photo are students from Keating's time more than 50 years ago. They also have the same hairstyle as now. Their eyes also shine with hope for the future, believing that the whole world is in their hands. They believe they are born to make a great impact. Unfortunately, they are now no longer in this world. Perhaps they wasted youth, their talent withered, then until near the end, do not make anything new in awareness or stars. But if you listen hard, you can still hear the advice they want to send. Can't hear? Carpe diem. Heard yet? Carpe diem. Seize the day. Enjoy the joy of life. Catch the present. Let your life no longer be bored. The purpose of this class is to tell them that you can live every moment. It is his words and actions, like the spring rain, watering the soul, sowing hope in the hearts of the children. The words of Mr. Keating touched Todd Anderson. Returning to the dormitory, the boy wrote on the paper, "Carpe diem." Perhaps I should also try to realize my dreams. But when he saw a towering pile of books next to him, Todd felt himself annoyed. He crumpled the paper, threw it in the trash, and then picked up the chemistry book. Hopefully, I will soon become a good student like my brother. The students are very curious about this special teacher, so they went to the library to search for information about Keating and discovered that he had established a secret society. Meeting of the Souls Who Love Poetry. This name makes everyone curious. Mr. Keating told the students about it. The beautiful time was, but also full of regret. The romantic souls in the school together created a paradise to free themselves and named it the Dead Poets Society. They chose a cave a few miles from
school as a gathering place. Everyone considered poetry as a place to convey the soul, regardless of rules, not forming formality. In the late nights escaping from flat reality, they immerse themselves in flying poems together. Neil proposes to restore the Dead Poets Society, but Mr. Keating did not support this. After saying that, the teacher told the children to burn the old yearbook. Clearly, the end of the story Keating has experienced was not as good as expected. However, Neil is still determined to restore the Dead Poets Society. With Neil as the leader, the other students heard that and immediately responded. Shy Todd, fearful of communication, refused to participate. But Neil wants to help this close friend. Open your heart to everyone. You don't need to read poetry. Can you just hear it? The rules are not like that. Ignore it. And then, that night, they did the craziest thing ever. Holding the flashlight and old poems. Bypassing dozens of guard dogs. Starting a risky escape. Break all barriers and chains. Taking advantage of the shading night. The whole group runs towards the ideal and freedom. Passing the deep forest. Climbing to the top of the hill. Finally, they found a secret cave. Under the glimmering light of the flashlight, Neil held the old notebook of the Dead Poets Society. Official declaration to restore the society. Everyone took turns reading poetry. Only Todd is silent, looking at them with admiration. The boy doesn't like poetry, just a timid nature, making him unable to escape inferiority, guilt. Young boys are passionate about chatting, about freedom, about dreams, about the meaning of life. There are people who pursue love. Some people aspire to freedom, and there are those who use music to express themselves. Poetry blends with the melody, making people dance to the music. All are happy to sing. And so on, the free wings gradually accepted the wings in each person's heart. But when they returned to reality, they faced the pressure of life. Next, Mr. Keating asked, "What is the purpose of using language?" "Todd, this question is not included in the textbook. Todd is not good at speaking, so he only knows how to be silent." Mr. Keating realized the inferiority in the boy's heart, so he did not make it difficult for him. Instead, the teacher assigned homework to the whole class, asking everyone to compose a poem and read it aloud before the class on Monday. Before leaving, the teacher also played on this tough guy. Don't think I don't know anything. This exercise probably scared him, right? He was scared. Saying that, he left in the dark. During the holiday, when everyone is enjoying relaxation, only Todd is preparing for the poetry lesson on Monday. He tried his best to compose a good poem, writing non-stop on the page. However, the thoughts were like circling panthers in his head, making him forever struggling. The more he read, the more disappointed he became about his own work. Time passed quickly, soon came to the poetry lesson. Mr. Keating commented on each student's poem in turn. Some took the topic of love. Some were obviously done poorly. A cat sat on a mat. The poem through this speaker did not make Mr. Keating angry. He patiently said he doesn't care whether the poem is simple or not. Sometimes, the best poems are poems describing the simplest things. For example, a cat, a flower, or rain. As long as there is creativity, anything can become poetry. Just don't let your poem become empty. Finally, Mr. Keating went in front of Todd. He saw through the fear in his student's heart, but he did not intend to ignore him. He asked Todd to go to the podium. "Read my poem." Todd faltered. "I have not written, not yet written." "Then rip out a page."
Saying that, the teacher quickly wrote on the board a poem. "We stand on the top of the world and roared." First, start with the roar. Thinking that Keating was deliberately making it difficult for him, Todd stood frustratedly on the podium. No, bigger. It was the sound of a mouse. Loudly. "God, roar like a true man." That's right. It's not done. Mr. Keating pointed to the portrait hanging on the wall. Requires saying the first thought appearing in mind, no matter how foolish it is. A madman with a scary look. God, it turns out that you still have a poetic soul in you. Come on, close your eyes, close your eyes. Now describe what you see. I closed my eyes. Right, that image is hovering around me. A madman with a scary look. His eyes seem to penetrate my heart. Great, let him move, do something. He reached out, squeezed my neck. Tren is like that. Great, too great. From the beginning until now, he kept muttering something. What is he saying? Tell yourself about the truth. Very good. The truth is like a blanket, never big enough to cover your feet. Do not pay attention to them. Keep thinking about the blanket. Say continue. No matter how you pull, how to jerk, it is also never wide enough. Even if you have stones, punched, it also cannot cover anyone. From the moment we cried entering life until we close our eyes. It is only enough to cover your face when you cry, no matter how you mourn and scream. After a dumbfounded time, the whole class suddenly applauded. Mr. Keating told him to never forget his feelings today. That is the beginning of self-liberation. In the next lessons, Mr. Keating applied unique teaching methods. Our captain allowed students to freely walk in the schoolyard. No need to follow the line. He told the students, only when they followed others did they realize. Blindly listening is so blind. And maintaining your own stance, the case of yourself, is so difficult. Our captain
Leads the students to the training field, listening to music together. Let them freely read the poems and kick the ball around. He told the students, the intense emotion when playing sports is the true nature of life. And just like that, the students of the teacher Keating seemed to be liberated. The environment is no longer haunting. The person is as light as before. His children freely run under the sunset. Mr. Keating wakes up their sleeping souls. The children began to yearn for freedom, want to destroy all chains. But there are also people confusing recklessness and courage. That day, during the club activity, Charlie led two beautiful girls. Arriving at the secret location of the group, he blatantly let the guests flirt. Do you not want to have girls in school? Want? After listening to the girls' words, Charlie arbitrarily took the name of the Dead Poets Society to publish an article, criticizing the fact that the Academy does not accept female students. This rebellious action has quickly caused great trouble. The school leadership was extremely angry, determined to investigate to the end, strictly handled. At this moment, the phone rang in the middle of the quiet hall. Hello, the Academy speaking? It is him. Please wait for the phone. Mr. Nolan, have a phone call from Mr. Ha. Is God calling? That day said that the Academy should recruit female students. The provocative words amid this crowded assembly, making the principal unable to keep calm. He dragged the boy into the office, using the whip cruelly on Charlie, forcing him to declare the list of members of the Dead Poets Society. If not, the boy will suffer not only physical punishment, but also be expelled. However, Charlie is the one who chose the spirit, would rather die, not submit. The principal, getting no information, went to Mr. Keating. The only teacher in the school dared to go against rigid rules. He said that the teaching method of Keating has led to this crazy act. Therefore, the teacher emphasized his mission is to bring all students into prestigious universities. Mr. Keating could not understand educating the children into learning machines. He expressed his views to the principal, that this is an important stage for them to discover and assert themselves. However, the principal did not pay attention to the words of Keating. Mr. Keating had to look for Charlie, tell the boy that this action was brave, but without thinking if he was really expelled. Charlie's educational path is considered to end. In my opinion, being expelled from school is not brave but stupid, because you will lose valuable opportunities. Really, for example, the opportunity to be in my class. For example, understand, the hero. Clearly, the captain. After Charlie's incident settled down, a violent wave silently came.
Neil resolutely pursues the dream of becoming an actor. Whether his father agrees or not, he was also determined to audition. If he discovered I stealthily went to audition, wouldn't he handle me? Hearing Todd say that, Neil is extremely depressed. I haven't received any role yet. Maybe I'm not allowed to dream a bit. But then, heaven does not betray people. Neil's natural talent and continuous efforts paid off. Neil has been chosen to play the male lead of the drama. Early at 18 years old, he was acting, but it was necessary to have a commitment of the guardian because he wanted to pursue his dream. Neil has arbitrarily forged his father's signature, and finally, he had the opportunity to perform. Just the first play, he was assigned the male lead. Neil is overjoyed, without even knowing that disaster is gradually approaching. Romance and freedom have to pay the price. Neil's father suddenly entered the room. "Neil, I just talked to Mr. Nolan. This semester you have participated in too many extracurricular activities. I see the black child alone participating in the yearbook editor. But this year I am an assistant editor. Stop lying, Neil." "Father, no. Not fair at all. Can you let our father and son talk privately for a while?" He declared that after graduating from medical school, Neil could do whatever he wanted. And now he must absolutely listen to his parents. He even took the sacrifice of himself and Neil's mother to force him. Neil did not disobey his father, had to listen. The more you live, the more efforts. Just pursued passionate acting? Just focus on studying. Today, after the rehearsal, Neil has just entered the dorm, immediately saw his father sitting on the bed, obviously waiting for a long time. What Neil didn't expect, his father knew that he was stealthily going to the performance. He was extremely angry, ordering Neil to immediately give up these useless deeds. Do not waste time anymore. But there is less than 24 hours until the show. I play the main role. I am acting tomorrow night. Even if tomorrow is the end of the world, I also don't care. I am not allowing you to join that drama anymore. Have you heard it clearly? Have you heard it clearly? I understand. Neil cannot give up the drama, but there is no way to convince his father. Confused, he went to Mr. Keating, hoping that he could show him a path. Mr. Keating said the best way is for the strict father to know the determination of his son to pursue his dream. But now Neil is afraid of his father. Under his absolute authority, he did not have a chance to express himself. "I'm trapped." Neil, shyly, finally chose to escape. Instead of talking frankly with his father, he secretly joined the drama again. On stage, every gesture, even every small expression on the face of Neil, makes the audience laugh. Everyone was laughing or praising his performance. But not finished, the father on business suddenly appeared. Neil suddenly became confused, but then he
still tried to complete his performance. The drama ended in the audience's applause. The applause was resounding when the curtain descended. Neil cannot help but be excited. He thought his father saw his acting talent and would agree to let him continue to pursue his passion. But unexpectedly, things were completely opposite. The face of the father showed anger. He dragged him away amid the joyful crowd. The praise around could not move his anger expression. Just out of the theater door, Neil met Mr. Keating, and the friends were waiting. Mr. Keating praised his wonderful performance. But the father was angry and pulled Neil far away from Mr. Keating. He shouted, "Stay away from my son." At this time, Mr. Keating was shaken. Neil did not talk to his father. The poor boy was forced by his father into the car. The snow was falling. Sitting in the car, Neil was helplessly looking out the window, his eyes as if seeking help from someone. Returning home, Neil is no longer a happy, active boy like before. Under the authority of the father, he has no right to speak up. He has no choice. The chance that Dad must dream, I will not let me miss it. I have to tell my father my feelings. What? Tell me to know my father's feelings? What do you feel? Is that nonsense acting again? Do not dream falsely. To force Neil to give up the acting dream, the father arbitrarily performed the transfer procedure for his child. Tomorrow he will have to study at a more strict military school. He wants Neil to pass the exam to Harvard, becoming a respectable doctor. But to achieve all of that, Neil needs 10 years. 10 years without freedom, no dream. A person who has found himself like Neil, how can he be committed? He tried to convince his father to give him the opportunity to pursue his passion. But all was useless. Under the authoritarian imposition, Neil's soul becomes crushed. The mother looked at her son, tears falling. Neil is completely desperate. That night, Neil opened the window, wearing a crown once worn in the play. Standing there with a naked body, wide laurel wreath, feeling the night breeze blowing through. Then he at the end of his head, mourning for his dream of acting, mourning for himself. His steadfast gaze seemed to say that a life without dreams was even more scary than death. Neil ended his life when he was 17 years old. The darkness of death covers the joyful atmosphere of the poetry club. The harsh reality has extinguished the enthusiasm of youth. The father heard the gunshot. "Neil, Neil, oh my God, Neil, my son, my little son, Neil, it's okay, it's fine, don't scream anymore, don't scream anymore, don't scream anymore, don't scream anymore." But after the pain of losing his child, he did not question himself, but blamed the school's education. News of Neil's death spread to school. Mr. Keating sat in Neil's place, hugging his face, sobbing, so painful. "Todd, do not be like that, Todd. Calm down. Everything will be okay, Todd. Calm down. Everything will be okay. It will be okay. It will be okay. He won't do something so foolish. His father forced him. He won't leave us anywhere because he won't do that. Todd, his father forced him. His father. Todd, let him be alone." Everyone understood that it was the patriarchal control of Neil's father that led to this tragedy. However, he still asked the school to have a satisfactory answer. The academy hurriedly searched for a scapegoat to soothe the family, putting pressure on members of the Dead Poets Society, forcing them to admit the sins of Mr. Keating. It all said that Neil's death was caused by Mr. Keating. It was the teacher who instigated people to set up the association, inciting people to search for the ego, advice to relax. Cameron, because he wanted to protect himself, quickly surrendered to the school's pressure. He declared all the names of the members of the association, telling everything that had happened. It is to stand on the side of justice, claiming that Neil's death is because Keating is fully responsible, and the other members of the Dead Poets Society are victims. Only so they can continue studying at this school. Todd is both sad and indignant, unable to control himself and shout, "You can't understand. Why can Cameron change face so fast?" Charlie could not help but be angry, rushed to him. However, this action could not awaken Cameron's conscience. He appealed before the adults, seriously advising his friends. "You guys can't save Mr. Keating, but you can save yourself." Looking at the friends who used to be very close, now suddenly became strange. All are silent. The fear made Cameron subdue to power. He chose like that, and then the rest will also have to make their own choice. This winter is incredibly cold. Not long after, Todd was called to the headmaster's office. Sitting there not only has the principal, representing the supreme power, but also his parents, who he has not seen for a long time. His father gave him a report accusing Mr. Keating. There are signatures of others. The principal also listed each alleged crime of Mr. Keating. What will happen to Keating? He suffered enough. Sign here quickly. Principal Nolan thrust a pen into his hand, forcing him to sign. Keating was guilty. The school fired him. End of the career of the teacher, Mr. Keating. The principal replaced Mr. Keating. The classroom is floating, now becomes stuffy and heavy. Mr. Keating returned to the classroom to clean up his belongings. The gaze always followed the respectable teacher. Keating also saw Todd, and he smiled and encouraged him. As soon as the teacher finished cleaning, he sadly walked out of the door. Then Todd could not be suppressed anymore. "Mr. Keating, they who forced us to sign it." Silence. "Please believe me, teacher. I believe in me." Todd, "Let's go, Keating. This is not his fault. Sit down. Who dares to open his mouth to say another word? I will expel that person." Keating's eyes were tearful. He felt very comforted when shy Todd has dared to stand up and speak his thoughts. Only that, the teacher was satisfied. Looking at the shadow of Mr. Keating gradually behind the door, Todd felt a determination he never had before. He defied everything, decided to stand on the table. "Oh, Captain, my Captain!" "Sit down." "Heard it? Sit down. Sit down, all sit down for me. Sit down." "Oh, Captain, my Captain!" "Sit down. Last warning."
Todd. He was so big. Hearing me say anything? Oh, Captain, my Captain. Overcheat. I warn you. Sit down. All sit down for me. Hurry up. Sit down. Sit down. All sat down. I told you to sit down, not listening to the teacher. The students stood up, walked onto the tables, and looked towards their captain. A meaningful gaze. Tens of thousands of eyes locked on each other. Not a quiet scene, but full of emotion. Thank you, guys. The corner of the master's mouth gently lifted. Eyes containing joy, emotion said it all. Now he has nothing to regret. He awakened all the senses of the children, allowing them to feel the breath of life, tasting the sweet taste of youth. And at the same time, they also understand that they must always be ready to cope with the challenges of reality. Oh, Captain, my Captain, can you tell me how to get rid of the grim fate? Being a victim of this unfair society. This is the end of the movie. If you like it, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss my new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next videos.